You're listening to the Patriot Nation Podcast.
All right, welcome into another episode of the Patriot Nation Podcast. As always, a proud member of the CLNS group of podcasts. Make sure you download and subscribe to all of those great shows, and make sure you go over and subscribe to the Patriots Press Pass YouTube channel if you haven't already done that. Tonight, it's your boy Pat Lane here with my guy Matt St. Jean, and it is our first of many regular season post-game shows, and not a happy one. Not a happy one.
This feels all too familiar, Pat.
Sure does.
Can I just open this by reading a paragraph from what Andrew Callahan wrote up after this?
Sure.
This is what Andrew Callahan writes. Meanwhile, Vrabel's staff couldn't solve a Las Vegas offense that lost its best player, Brock Bowers, to a knee injury in the third quarter. On Vegas's next series after Bowers left, the Patriots beefed up their personnel to halt rookie running back Ashton Jeanty, and Geno Smith roped play-action completions by them for first downs. So the Pats deployed an extra defensive back, but then Jeanty barreled ahead to sustain an eventual 12-play scoring drive. That paragraph about like what the defensive issues were feels straight like it was like that was taken out of last season.
Mm-hmm.
You could copy and paste that into like 4 or 5 different games last year, and it would fit. So that's not fun.
No, I mean you felt like the Patriots were in a good situation, that their coaching was going to be better, and it just wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, the first touchdown they gave up, they blitzed Marcus Jones off the edge. They dropped Christian Barmore and Milton Williams into coverage, and you have Jalen Hawkins trying to cover the fastest guy in the field. I just, what in the hell are we doing? Like, that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, I think you go back to the Seattle game last year where you're facing Geno Smith, and what was the takeaway after that game? It was the Patriots tried to blitz him, and it didn't work because he's just like a big-time throw quarterback, and he's just like he's not going to get scared of your blitz. Like, he'll take sacks, and then when he's not getting sacks, he's going to throw the ball down the field. And I think you saw that on display from the first drive. But I think we go through this first drive, like, right away, the vibes were bad. Immediately, the vibes were bad because it's a 6-play, 66-yard touchdown drive, and it's just play action chunk play to a tight end. That was like number one worry in this entire game.
Yep,
that right there. Number 2 worry is an Ashton Jeanty 9-yard run right after it. An easy, quick out designed pass to your rookie wide receiver, like getting young receivers involved for the Raiders right away. And then, blown coverage. You finally force an incompletion, but 3rd and long doesn't matter. Blown coverage and a touchdown. And it's like, man, this is everything we were worried about with the personnel and everything from last year that was an issue basically all at once.
Right. It was bad. It was really bad. And I will say, in the Patriots' defense, their defense played significantly better the rest of the half, right? And you felt like pretty good about where they were by the end of the first half. And then, Vegas went in and made some corrections, and the Patriots didn't. And, there's so many different plays, and you look at so many different, things where I'm looking at it saying, man, these guys just, they're getting out-coached. And listen, Pete Carroll's a good coach. But today, He broke a record today that he will continue to break for the rest of the season, which is he became the oldest head coach in the history of the NFL to ever coach a game. And again, he will do that all season long, obviously, as he gets older. And, at a certain point, you got to feel like, all right, we're in a better situation with Vrabel. I can't imagine anybody watched that game and thought they were in a better position than they were last year, because nothing about what happened today was better than what happened last year. And again, and Nelson says it's week 1, which is true. The overreactions on week 1 are a little ridiculous. I don't know if you know this or not. I'm not sure if you saw it or not. But Penny Sewell sucks. I don't know if you know that or not. Penny Sewell got beat really bad on an inside move by Micah Parsons. He sucks. Just throw him out.
Well,
Just throw him out.
the
He's
football
terrible.
games that happened. The football games that happened this week are the only ones any of the players have ever played.
That's correct. And Penny Sewell's never played before. And because he got beat one time by Micah Parsons, just throw everything else out. He's done. Forget it. He's awful. And so, this is kind of what we're looking at. And Geno was not incredible. Geno played well. He was not incredible. I think we have to pump the brakes on the Drake Maye stuff for a little bit. It's week 1. People overreact. It's what's going to happen. People are going to overreact. Like that's what they do. But it's also our job to kind of talk with a little bit of restraint.
Yeah.
And this is what we've been saying. This is what we've been saying all offseason. This is not a great team.
Yeah.
It's not a great team. Sorry. It's not. We're not there yet. And I want to see them move in the right direction, but you don't have anybody on your team that's as good as Brock Bowers or Max Crosby. Full stop. You don't have anyone as good on your team. And the only guy you can argue is Christian Gonzalez, and he's hurt. So they have the 2 best players. Like that's, and we could just start there, but they have the 2 best players, and then they played that way. It's the way it goes.
Their quarterback played better. I mean, Geno Smith outplayed Drake Maye. I think one of the big takeaways just from this individual game is that, like, Geno Smith played well against the blitz, and not just played well, but was able to push the ball down the field against the blitz and punish it, especially when it didn't get there. And, the pressure rates for both teams ended up being about the same. Both teams got 4 sacks. Like, pressure was roughly equal for both sides. I thought Maye was under more pressure than Geno Smith, but the numbers say that it was about equal for both sides. But I think the big difference there is that Geno Smith could make plays, and Drake Maye wasn't. Accuracy was a big part of that today. Receiver ability is part of that. Scheme is going to be part of that. Patriots played more man on defense, and the Raiders played almost exclusively zone, trying to take away any big plays. So, like, there's factors here beyond just, Geno Smith played well and Drake Maye didn't. But that, production-wise, that the Raiders had the 2 best players in the field and the better quarterback. You're going to win most days when that's how things play out.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of issues on the defensive side and a lot of issues on the offensive side. The one thing that where I want to start is with Josh McDaniels. Because I thought number one, they got away from the run too early. I thought they didn't commit to the run. I wish they had ran it a little bit more. They didn't have success, right? I think Stevenson had 7 carries for 15 yards. And Travion was a little bit better, but not much. He had 1 14-yard run, and I think he had 25 yards total. So, like, he didn't have a lot of success either. But at the very least, you got to try it. You got to throw in some play-action pass. You got to do some of those things. And unfortunately, they didn't. And I don't understand. I'm so frustrated because we talked about all offseason. We talked about how Drake Maye didn't run the ball enough last year. And we didn't, Drake Maye, he's going to run the ball more this year. He's going to have more designed runs this year. He had 0 design runs today.
There was one that I think he had a speed option play with Henderson where he pitched it on like the speed option.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, it's one.
Right. Okay. So you had 1 that where it's you're not running the ball to him, you're running an option route. Or you're running an option play. So that's it. For me, I look at that and I'm just like, man, like that's not enough. That's not good enough. And I get it. I understand. It's been drilled into his head to not get hit when running the ball. I get that. But part of what makes him so good, or part of what is enticing about his ability and his potential, is the fact that he's so good with the ball in his hands running. And so don't take that away from him. Just make him be smarter about getting hit. It's one of the things about Jaden Daniels. Like, Jaden Daniels runs the crap out of the ball. He runs it all the time. But he's smart about not taking hits. That's all you have to do with Drake Maye. Don't take that away from Drake Maye. There were multiple times in this game where it looked like he had opportunities to run it and he refused to do it because I think he was told not to. And that, to me, is handcuffing the offense. And I don't like it. And I hope that they fix that.
Well, I think you look at the offense as a whole, and there was kind of like a pattern to me that stood out. That seemed like a lot of these drives were either a 3-and-out or a sustained drive. And I thought when you watched Maye play, he didn't start to build confidence until they'd moved to the chains. Their lone touchdown drive of the day, they just get a couple big plays in there. He gets the pass to Henry for 27 yards, and that pass to Booty for 24 yards. I think one or two of those were play action. And it's like, all right, McDaniels is calling a couple easy button plays for Maye. He sees it, he throws it, you get going, and then he's feeling it. His best sequence of the day is when you get down to the goal line and he throws that touchdown pass to Pop Douglas, where he has to operate the whole offense before the play, identify matchups, pick the matchup, and then throw it into a tight window. And it was the culmination of that. I thought that was one of the issues, that he wasn't seeing the field unless he was out there for a little bit and he wasn't getting into a rhythm. The optimist in me looks at that and says, it's week one in a very complicated offense that overwhelms a lot of players. And I don't think it was just Maye that struggled with that. I think the running game stunk because the guys, I didn't look like they were on the same page run blocking. I have to get into the film on that. But all five of the guys who were on the starting line are guys who I think we'd say are better run blockers than pass blockers at this point in their careers.
Yeah.
And you would expect them to then, as a unit, be better at run blocking, but they weren't today. They were much better in pass protection. They just couldn't move the ball on the ground. So, the optimistic case is, all right, you got a lot of new players, a lot of young players. Give it a month into running this in real games, and things are going to get a lot smoother. This came up with the delay game that Drake Maye had to take on the drive where you end up missing a field goal, like little things like that, the operational stuff where he needs to get there quicker. But I'm hopeful that when he gets there mentally, he's on top of it, then the accuracy is going to come along with it, and the confidence will come, and then that out of structure playmaking will come. As to why they're not running him, I don't know if they're looking at the offensive line and the way they were blocking today and saying, we can't, this isn't going to work, we just have to throw, or if it's not that much in the playbook. We didn't see a ton of screens today either, and the ones they had, they didn't execute very well either, which I thought was really going to be a strength of this group too. So
yeah,
I kind of put the two of those together as why is this not working the way we thought it would?
It felt like it wasn't. It felt like what it felt like to me was that the Raiders had all the answers for the Patriots. Every time the Patriots had to do something, every time Drake Maye broke the pocket, there was two guys waiting for him. Every time they went to throw a screen pass, there were four guys waiting for the screen pass to be thrown, right? They threw a swing pass to Shippen Henderson at one point, and the guy just came downhill and smacked him in the backfield. They were ready for it. And the plays that they hit were those back shoulder throws to Kayshon Boutte, those down the seam throws to Hunter Henry, right? Those were the throws that they hit. And unfortunately, Drake, doesn't do that consistently enough. And again, that's something that I hope that he gets to. I think part of me says that the comparison between him and Jaden Daniels isn't fair. Jaden Daniels is a year and a half older. Jaden Daniels played 55 college games, 55 to Drake Maye's 30. So that's 2 full extra years of starting, of a bit of learning, of growing, right? And again, Drake Maye's 23, right? He just turned 23, whereas Daniels turns 25 at the end of the year. And so I'm not saying that's everything. I'm not saying, cut him all the slack and everything else, but yeah, there is a part of that where that matters. I think that if we don't see some serious growth by the end of this year, by the way, take last year and throw it out. Throw it last year in the trash. Just throw it in the trash. I think that everyone would agree that Alex Van Pelt had no idea what the hell he was doing, and that, I don't know what the hell was going on in last year, but it wasn't what needed to happen. And so he comes in this year, things are a little bit different. Okay, it's a different offense. I want to give him, at least halfway through the year. But that being said, if by the end of the year he doesn't look like he's making big strides, then we can start to panic about Drake Maye.
Yeah.
I'm not going to panic about Drake Maye after week 1 when it's raining out and they didn't play well and Ramondre couldn't run the ball and Pop Douglas dropping passes over the place. I'm not going to do that. But by the end of the year, if he's not playing better, if he's not approaching that elite level we want him to be at, that's I'm going to have a problem with.
Yeah, no, and that's especially with the new offense. I do also think, if this was Bill coaching this team right now, we might look at this game and say, it's an extension of the preseason.
Right.
It's just that, it's not Bill. It's a more unproven group of coaches and players. So you don't have that to fall back on. There's no safety net on this. There's a world where what we saw today is just what they are for 17 games, and you just got to deal with it. I doubt that. I think we will see at least some improvement. I'd be shocked if we don't. But yeah, and you look at, it was a Raiders team that played almost exclusively zone defense today, and for young quarterbacks, that's more difficult too as they're learning it. And it's for May, I think this was probably a lot to deal with today. It's going to be a variety of zone defenses. They're going to be very well coached with players who've been in this before because they retain the defensive coordinator, and you're trying to learn a new system that is going to have all the answers to that test, but it's complex and you really have to learn that. And I think, play 1 was the immediate, this isn't right, because May picks it up and scrambles for a yard on the first play with receivers open. And it's okay, he's just not seeing it right now. And, that happens. Got to bounce back. I'm not too super worried yet. 1 game, but I think my biggest theme all offseason has been that if the Patriots are a better team in 2025 than they were in 2024, the single reason for that's going to be because the quarterback plays better, because you're able to take a young quarterback and he gets better in year 2. He goes from someone who is a definite guy with star potential to someone who becomes a star, who's actually realizing that potential. Like you see it with May. He had 2-3 drives today, maybe 4 drives, where he looks very good, and you see it. It's coming together. And then the other ones, it's just not there. He's not seeing it. So more reps. That's the only solution.
Just has to play more. You're gonna have to play him more, and and then watch the film and break things down and go, and listen. We're watching a guy right now in Buffalo who could not play football for a year and a half. Couldn't do it. Just could not do it. I mean, Josh Allen could have been on a boat and fall out and not hit the water. He was awful his first 2 years. And at some point, 3/4 of the way or 2/3 of the way through that second year, he started figuring something out and he started looking a lot better. And that third year, they get Stephon Diggs and, all of a sudden he looks like he's a good player and knows what he's doing. That's what you're hoping happens with Drake Maye. I don't know if it's going to. I don't know. But that's what you're hoping happens with Drake Maye, that he takes that step forward. He has the ability. He has the skills to do it. We just got to see him put it all together. And that comes from everyone. That comes from the offense, that comes from the defense, that comes from the coaching, that comes from Drake Maye himself learning, right? But it's all of those things. There have to be, and that's the way it goes, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I think one of the big positives from today for May the receivers that he has played with before, the guys he already had chemistry with, thought for the most part looked pretty good. Like his connection with Booty, his connection with Henry, those look good. So there's something to build on there. Pop had one of the strangest stat lines you'll ever see from a wide receiver. Disappointing performance from him for sure. Mac Hollins, pretty much already feeling like I'm not sure if he ever needs to be out there. Kyle Williams had one nice play, and I was like, all right, I'm good with I'm good with Mac Hollins right now. And Diggs had a nice game. I think he's still they're clearly still easing him back.
I think that for me, at least, I think that I saw some good things out of Drake Maye. And again, I thought that. So, what are we going to talk about? Maybe Pop Douglas not being good. Are we going to have that discussion soon? Because, the potential's there, and everyone thinks he should be good, and he's really shifty and get open, but he doesn't have great hands. And I don't know. I just at some point, he's going to have to actually do something on the field for me to believe that he's a good player.
Yeah. Well, and I think, he had some drops. Maybe one drop today, which is tough. But I think what stood out to me is there was a screen pass to him, and he just didn't. He looked like just a guy with his quickness out there. Like he looked like the typical, quick receiver you see in the NFL who is just a guy. So we'll see. People are pushing for that, and Diggs can play in the slot. So I do wonder if we get to a point here where your best receiver grouping is going to be Kyle Williams, Kayshon Boutte, and Diggs in the slot. I'm also not going to give up on anything too quickly here because one game,
right?
And as they grow, it's the receivers too trying to figure out the new offense, and our guys dropping the ball because they're just overthinking things. Very possible. We'll see how that plays out over the coming weeks. But Pop was a disappointment today. It's tough.
Yeah. So by the way, Nagan has a great idea. We should just draft Derrick Henry. Wouldn't that be a great idea? Let's just draft Derrick Henry, and then that will fix all of our problems at running back. If only we could do that. Also, we talked about this off the air, but the Derrick Henry's high school stats, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you have not seen Derrick Henry's high school stats, you have to look it up. I mean, it's completely insane. I think I just retweeted it because it's so ridiculous. His high school stats, 4 years in high school, 12,124 rushing yards and 153 touchdowns. 153 touchdowns in 4 years. His senior season, he had 4,261 yards and 55 touchdowns. So, he might be an alien. He really might be an alien. And he's insanity. Just completely insane. Also, Nagan, you're saying that Omarion Hampton did it. He had 15 carries for 48 yards against Kansas City on Friday night. I personally would like something better out of my rookie second round running back than 15 carries for 48 yards, but that's just me. It's just me. I personally, if you're going to talk about him being the next great thing, I'd like better than 15 carries for 48 yards. But I guess if that's your guy, that's cool. But I'm okay with Travion Henderson. I think that they can open up some things, and I'm fine with him for right now.
And I think you want to get him the ball more, but this might just not have been the game for that. Clearly, everyone's not on the same page right now.
Right.
So, that'll be something you have to build going forward. Get Henderson the ball more. Ramondre Stevenson looks like just a guy out there running back right now too.
Yep. Which he is.
Yep. So I think get Henderson more touches should be part of the game plan going forward. Speed option May and Henderson is fun. I like that.
I agree.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just honestly, Kyle Williams to me, the fact that he came in and made that nice play. And obviously it was kind of garbage time at that point, but just like coming in and winning on like a comeback and getting out of bounds was like, okay, able to win down the field a little bit. They were using him in some of those spots. It's like, all right, I want to get some speed on the field. They need that. Yeah. I don't know. I know we're talking the skill guys. Maybe we want to do an ad break and talk offensive line after this. But
yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so this ad break, of course, is for Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best daily fantasy sports app on the market. You got to get on it. Started out 1 for 1. I ended up going 1 for 2. I put Drake Maye rushing yards in my lineup. I believed in Kayshon Boutte. I said Kayshon Boutte, and then I went with Drake Maye instead. But, it is what it is. What are you going to do? But it is football season, and there's nothing better than putting in your lineups for daily fantasy sports in Prize Picks. One of the cool things about Prize Picks, they allow you to switch up sports, right? You want to throw in, I know the U.S. Open's over, but you want to throw in some tennis in there. You want to throw in some baseball in there. You want to throw in maybe some college football in there. I mean, my goodness, you could do all that in the same lineup. It's great. And don't forget on Tuesdays, Taco Tuesdays on Tuesdays, where they have discounts on things. Flex Friday on Friday, which means you can opt in, click on the link there, or click on the box there to make it a flex play, and then you get that money back in promotional dollars. So, I mean, come on now. There's nothing better than that. So, also, they offer Venmo, Apple Pay, and many more, MasterCard, and many more to get free or quick and easy withdrawals and deposits. Okay. What you're going to do, download the app Prize Picks, put in the promo code CLNS. When you do that, you're going to get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. So again, download the app Prize Picks, put in the promo code CLNS, and you're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Okay, all right. Jimmy B is completely losing his mind. Has lost his mind. Jimmy, it's okay. It's all right. Drake Maye was not good. He wasn't that bad. He didn't stat pad in garbage time. They didn't even drive at the end of the game. He completed 3 passes on the last drive or something like that. Come on.
I don't care about. Well, I don't think we're even taking that into account in our evaluation of him.
That's correct. Yes. No one cares about what his final stats were. I don't care, at least. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I was like, if you're looking at the team, it does feel like the team had 3 phases today, and it's like the first drive and a half, 2 drives, 3 drives, or it is before Geno Smith's interception.
Yep.
And then the time between Geno Smith's interception and Drake Maye's interception, and then the rest of the game. And that from Drake Maye's interception on, Maye did not play well, and he didn't play well in the opening drive either.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Do we do offensive line here?
Yeah. So, look, I think the offensive line is better than it was last year. Now, that's a very low bar. That's a very low bar. But I do think the offensive line is better than it was last year. I do think that Will Campbell, for the most part, played pretty well. I think that Jared Wilson, for the most part, played pretty well. I think that Morgan Moses, for the most part, played pretty well. They weren't great, but they weren't awful either. And I think they gave up on the run too early. I also think that Vegas dared the Patriots to pass, and they didn't have success doing it. I feel like at times they had every guy in the box and just stop. Nope, we're going to stop the run. And they did that. And then they weren't able to do it. I don't know. What did you see, Matt?
I thought it was a working. Honestly, I thought Pass Pro was a lot better. Evan Lazar says they had a 28.3% pressure rate, which is a lot better than how they were doing at points last year. So the pass protection is better, as far as I can tell. Far from perfect. Mm-hmm. I've seen a variety of numbers, so I'm not going to give anything super specific as to attributing pressures or sacks to certain players. I thought no one player stood out as particularly bad for pass protection, but as a group, you'd like to see them be a little bit better across the board. Still, if this is how it's going to be every week, you can live with that.
Right.
Run blocking just has to be better than it was today, though.
Yeah.
And it's not a particularly stout Raiders front. They lost to Landon Roberts during the game, too. So, like, you would like to be able to run the ball on a day like today. And, I mean, they didn't get push. Michael Winu had a particularly, I think it was a 3rd and 1, a pretty bad whiff on a block there. And it's just like, you need those guys to play better. And hopefully you bounce back next week because this team was built to run the ball first. If you can't do that, then what are we doing?
Right. Well, and I think that's part of the problem. And not just that, I also look at it and think, they had an opportunity at times to bring the fullback out, and they didn't do it. I thought that was surprising. I just figured, like, they're definitely going to play with the fullback. I think he played one snap. Westover, I think, played one snap. And not that Jack Westover is the greatest fullback of all time, but, like, you weren't having any success running the ball. So, like, if you're not having success running the ball, try to do something different. It's not that difficult.
I thought they put Westover out there for 2 snaps, and I did not think he looked good.
Yeah.
Which may be why they didn't do more of that, which is like, I don't know. Josh McDaniels loves the fullback. If this was going to be a main point of your offense this year, which it wasn't today, they used him for 2 snaps.
Right.
If you'd like this to be a main point in your offense, maybe don't rely on an undersized tight end convert where you like doing the conversion during camp. Like, go sign someone. There are options. Jakob Johnson was available. He's played in the scheme before. Like,
well, and you had Lamke, but he got hurt. All right, yeah, Lamke. What the hell's his name? Lampy. Thank you.
Well, still,
but like
you had one fullback in camp. He's a UDFA.
Correct.
If it's going to be a big point of your offense, bring in better players.
Right. And so I guess the question that everyone wants to know, Will Campbell. I thought Will Campbell played okay. I know that, his guy sacked Maye on one play. I thought Maye stepped directly into the sack. Maybe he disengaged the guy before he did, but I thought he stepped directly into the sack. The strip sack, that is certainly a pressure allowed by him. I think Maye just dropped the ball. It looked like he lost the ball before his guy got there. Now, that was still a pressure because that guy was there quick. But it looked like that ball was coming out, and he fumbled it before he even got hit.
Well, it's just almost worse because that still would be a strip sack if he doesn't lose the ball on his own, which that's kind of – we've seen that twice now this year, including the preseason of Maye just losing the ball. And, like, you're not supposed to do that, man.
Yeah,
you're
which is not good.
Hold on to that.
Yeah, it's not good. That's not what you want to see. And so, but I thought overall he had 2 costly penalties, and one of them we're going to talk about in a little while because I still haven't got over it, and I'm not going to get over it all week, and I may not get over it all damn season. But I thought for the most part he played okay. He wasn't amazing, but I thought he played okay. And I think that the upgrade at left tackle is significant with him there right now. Can he develop into a great left tackle? I don't know. We're not there yet. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
But I thought he was fine. That's what I saw. I thought he was fine.
I would say in pass pro, I would say fine is probably correct. My biggest thing, and these are going to be all half-baked takes because I haven't watched the film on it yet.
Right.
I didn't see enough from Campbell as a run blocker today. And it's a left tackle. I care most about pass blocking with that position. But they did not run the ball well at all today. I thought they tried to run behind him at points, and it wasn't working. I don't know if that's him. I don't know if that's tight ends. I don't know if that's actually Jared Wilson. But I'd like to see more there because it was you couldn't do anything. And it's the penalties, which were a little bit of an issue for him in college. He had a lot of false starts at LSU, and then 2 more today.
Yeah.
That's tough. It's not as bad as a holding, but
right.
You don't want it. And it's just like it's Campbell, from everything I saw, was like 2 pressures and a sack today. That's fine for one day. If you do that every game, well, yeah, you're not a good tackle. So let's see how it looks by the end of the month when he's got a couple games under his belt. I don't think today moves me too far in any direction when where I was with Campbell before, other than that, like, he looks like he can be an NFL player. It's just a matter of figuring out how to best use his skill set out there and him developing and maximizing that, what that's going to look like. I'm excited to get into that film this week and see he and Jared Wilson. I think that's a duo you're hoping can work together for a while on the left side of the line. Both incredibly athletic players. You'd like that to be a pairing of guys you can run behind and pass block and like pass things off. So I'll be focusing on that in my tape review. He wasn't until that last penalty. I think he wasn't so bad that you're noticing him. And that last penalty, I think, is the real killer, and not a good start to his career in New England.
Of course not, right? Of course not. And I have an issue with the decision making after that play, but certainly not what you want to see. It certainly wasn't like the play clock was running down or Maye said something and he jumped. I'm not sure about that. Also, Jared, you're 1,000% wrong that it's not how he compensates for his short arms. His athleticism is how he compensates for his short arms. It has nothing to do with his false starting. That's silly.
I will say, someone else had said that about him at LSU, that he gets very aggressive. Like the consistent issue with Will Campbell at LSU was that he would very aggressively try to get as wide as he could in pass protection and then get beat in the inside. And that, I don't know if it's Brandon Thorne or someone was saying that maybe he's trying so aggressively to get out there. That's where the false starts are coming from.
Right.
It's speculation, but maybe like that. I do think there's a chance there's a connection there. It's also the plays where he was false starting today. I think he just didn't know the snap count. I don't think it's anything more than that. And
that's certainly possible. By the way, who was it? James mentioned it. He is the one that recovered the fumble. He ripped that ball away from the Raiders. The Raiders guy had it, and he ripped it away from him. So, which is good. I mean, again, it doesn't mean anything, but that's it's a nice play by him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's at least you're not doubling down on a mistake.
Right.
Because he allows the pressure there. It's a strip sack if Maye doesn't drop it.
Right.
Because the guy's going to get there. So, jump on it.
Yep.
And that's the character side of Campbell. He's gonna fight out there.
Right. That was a beautiful thing. Baltimore's beating up on Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo just has no answer for Lamar and Zay Flowers.
So the whole AFC East is gonna be winless, huh?
That's right. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Patriots are tied for first place.
And so the Jets and Bills don't play each other. So whoever wins the Pats Dolphins game next week, I think it's going to be in sole possession of first place in the AFC East. Well,
guaranteed to be at least tied for first.
Yeah.
So
what a world, man.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, I mean, long way to go. Buffalo could still come back and win, but so
yeah.
No, you know what? And it is what it is. And ultimately, I think the offensive line is fine. They're not great. They're not, they're not the best team in the league. They're not the best unit in the league. I'm sorry. They're not, terrible. They're just not. They're not that good yet. And that's okay. I'm not expecting them to be that. We talked about this before. They were like 32 last year. If we can get to like 18 to 21, that's a huge, huge, huge win for this offense if they can get there. And I think that's what I'm looking for. Also, by the way, did you just see that catch by D-Hop? My goodness.
No, I don't have a stream. I just have Gamecast up.
Oh, he still got it. Oh, sick one-handed catch for a touchdown.
I do think, and this speaks to both the offensive line and I think the team as a whole. I just don't think we know. Like, I don't see a lot of areas where I'm like, man, they are not good at this. I also just don't see a lot of areas where I'm like, oh, yeah, they're good at this thing.
Right.
We're going to get to the defense here in a second. So I think maybe you could say pass rush for something they're good at. But, like, outside of that, after one game, there's something like, oh, okay, that's what they do well.
Right.
And that's like, all right, it's week 1. That's fine. By the time October comes around, by the time you got to go up to Buffalo, the first weekend in October for Sunday Night Football, you should know, something you're good at on offense and defense that you can lean into and try to do.
100%. And that's ultimately that's what you want to see. And we haven't discovered that yet. And so I was very happy with the play of Keyshawn Boutte today. Thought he played really well. That was something that the coaching staff has been kind of floating out there. You saw some reports come out about how happy they were with the way he practiced this offseason, the way he conducted himself, and you saw it on the field. He had a great rapport with Drake Maye, played really well, I thought, had some really nice comeback routes, had some really nice, back shoulder catches, and he was pretty consistently open. Stephon Diggs, I thought, looked good out there, which is good. And those things are good. Those things are good, and you're hoping that we can continue to build on that.
And I would say Diggs looked good. I wouldn't say he looked great.
No,
I think that's
he's also just come back. I think that they worked him back slowly today.
They want to be cautious with him.
Yeah.
With Boutte, man, I gotta eat so much crow on this. I was as anti-Boutte as it gets on this podcast. He's just proving me wrong. So hands up, I got that one wrong. Shout out Keyshawn Boutte. You are seemingly a good NFL player.
Yeah. And it's one game, but I think he's trending in the right direction. We saw it a little bit last year. Now you see it again today. You feel like we're heading in the right direction, and he can be maybe their most reliable receiver this year.
Yeah. Well, and he has report it's funny when you watch him out there after doing our 21 game series.
Yep.
I see a little David Givens.
Yeah.
And the way he came on last year and then started this year, I'm like, is this like 03 to 04 David Givens that we're getting right now, where he's just going to be like a super solid possession receiver for you? That would be awesome. They need that.
Absolutely.
And I think, man, we came out of camp thinking Pop was a lock for one of the top receiver spots on this team, and I do not feel that way right now. I definitely feels like it's Boutte, Diggs, and whoever else can earn that next spot. Looking to you, Kyle Williams.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, I don't. Pop frustrates me so much, man, because he should be so good, and he's just like. So
he had a touchdown today. It's weird. It's like he has the lone touchdown on the day, and it was a really nice route and catch, and everything about that play was nice. And then it's like, well, he still finished with negative yardage on the day,
which is wild. By the way, that was one hell of a throw by Drake Maye as well.
Yeah.
And a really nice catch, as you said.
Yeah, and it's people in the chat are talking about Maye being inaccurate. From what I can tell about Maye, it seems to be that it's mechanical in that when he isn't, making the throw that he's prepared to make, he has a tendency to sail it. And he doesn't get, because his mind's not anticipating it, his body doesn't get there, and then he tries to compensate with arm talent, and then he sails the ball. You can see that when everything is working together, he can be incredibly precise with it. He just needs to do that more often. So I think, one of the things we have to determine throughout the course of this season is how much of that inaccuracy is because of, confidence, mentally knowing the offense and knowing your progressions and knowing where you want to get the ball, and how much of it is just this guy can't throw. Because he was more inaccurate today than like half the games we saw him in last year. This was a step back in terms of accuracy. That's I don't think his mechanics got worse. The common denominator here is that he's doing something more challenging on offense. So, and even Josh Allen's accuracy didn't see that real jump up in improvement until year 3.
Correct.
So,
like I say, by the end of year 2, those last few games in year 2, his accuracy significantly improved, and then it really went up in year 3.
Yeah, and you want to be trended in the right direction. And it's as long as this team is where we are, I think the goal for the team is going to be by the back half of the season that you're a better team than you were at the start.
Right.
Like that's the goal here.
And I think you're going to find out by the end of the year if Drake Maye really is that guy, if he can make that leap. And again, we're one game into year 2. And again, last year, you can almost look at last year and throw it all out. So, it is what it is. And listen, the people complaining about Drake Maye, this is the best part. The people complaining about Drake Maye, don't ever buy a Drake Maye jersey. If he wins you a Super Bowl, don't buy a Drake Maye jersey. Just don't do it. Don't do it. You don't believe in him. You don't think he's good. So don't do it. It's fine. But it is what it is. Should we do our second ad read and then talk about the defense a little bit?
Yeah, we do defense, special teams around the league.
Yeah, sure. So this one is for Game Time. Oh, yeah, we're back with Game Time. As we talk about it, Game Time, the Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experience in just a few taps. It's super easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. Now, you want to go down to Miami, see the Patriots play? You can get in the door for $72 at Miami. $72 at Miami. If you'd like to do that, you want to go travel and see the Patriots in some nice weather as opposed to this cold rain up here in New England, you can go down and do that for $72. I'm taking 2 trips this year. Well, 1 trip, 2 games this year, and I use Game Time for both of those games and got great prices. And so I'm really excited about that. Okay? So what you're going to do, here's what you're going to do. Okay? Oh, also, one other thing I want to talk about, zone deals. The zone deals are great because you can get a better price by not choosing specific seats, but choosing a specific zone. And so that's a nice little perk there as well because you're like, oh, I want to sit kind of in this area. You could just click on a zone, and sometimes they'll give you a discount to say, well, you're not buying the exact tickets, but you're buying it in this section or in these few sections. So it's a great thing to do. So anyways, what you're going to do, take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. All right.
Just a quick note on Game Time there. I was away with my dad last week, going to a lot of baseball games, and we used Game Time for almost all of the games that we went to, and it was super easy.
Yep.
Shout out Game Time. Super helpful. Yeah.
And that's what, to me, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like I have a few different apps, and I just feel like I look at one app, and then I look at the other app, and I'm like, it's not even close. Game Time, has the best by at least $5 to $10. So, it's worth it.
I find the app works well. Like the tickets are just like easy to access in it, and you can just like pull them up and scan them right there. So
which is nice.
Yeah, had good experiences all around. Not good experiences all around. I think it's the Patriots defense.
Yeah. So start with the good. Harold Landry, 2.5 sacks, pretty nice. Milton Williams had, I think, 7 pressures on 30.
6. That's one of those, yeah.
6, 7, somewhere around there. 6, 7, right? For all my middle school and high school kids out there. But I don't even know what it means, but who knows? I don't think anyone
looked that up earlier.
To be very honest with you, I don't think anyone does. I think Jim Nance was saying it at one point. Like, it's just, okay, we've gone too far. But, anyways, I thought they looked good. I thought that, Christian Barmore, a rough day. Keon White is useless. Kayvon Jason had an okay day at times, but disappeared at times. Like, they had a good pass rush for a bit, but they weren't able to I felt like they couldn't win one-on-one battles at all, pretty much all game long. They had a few stunts and twists that worked. They really, their blitzes, as we talked about earlier, really didn't work. And, that's it's just tough. That's really tough. So,
well, they did get to Geno Smith. They sacked Geno 4 times for pretty significant yardage.
Yeah.
It was 4 sacks for 29 yards lost. I thought their blitzes were very hit or miss, because there was a stretch kind of right in the second quarter where I felt like their blitzes hit like in a row. I felt like Terrell Williams was really cooking with that. And it was like, okay, this is the improvement we needed from last year, where they were bringing blitzes and they were just never timed well and always picked up and always seen coming. And there was one where, you got like Spillane looping around into the A gap that I thought was good. I thought they had some confusion, but I thought it was very binary. Either the blitz fooled the Raiders and you were getting like a free rusher and you were getting a sack, or it didn't and no one was getting any real pressure and Geno was beating you down the field. And that, I think, is you just gotta work on it. I don't know, like it's got to be individual execution in the actual pass rush, and then it's got to be coverage down the field. You need better relationship there. This might just be a tough game for that. I'm curious how this is going to look next week against this Dolphins offense that was putrid today, but is also designed to punish that kind of thing and like not even allow you to blitz. So I'm curious where they end up going with that. But Harold Landry as a looper today was awesome. I don't know. The pass rush was so hit or miss today. It was weird.
Yeah. I felt like they couldn't win those one-on-one matchups. And I felt like what I was hoping for was that they could get pressure with 4 guys. And they were able to do that a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked to have seen. And so unfortunately that's where the Patriots are at right now.
And I think how you adjust to this, like, I know that they're going to want to blitz a lot. I think even if they can get there with 4, they're going to want to bring 5 and 6 and sim pressures and stuff. That's what these guys like to do.
Yeah.
So, I think as this evolves, like when you're in the first 4 weeks of the season, it's kind of a blank slate and you can do anything. And, I think the key to knowing how good this defense is when you get to October and November, other teams have film on what you like to do with your blitz packages. Okay, how good do they look then? How do you execute them? What wrinkles do you have designed off of them? When you have a blitz package that you're running today, how are you going to then use the fact that, Buffalo saw this blitz package that worked to bring something that looks similar, but it's going to bring a different rusher when you see him in October? Things like that to build off of it. We don't know until we get there.
Right.
I thought the blitz stuff was way better than the stuff they did last year against Geno Smith. It's just he's hard to blitz, and the coverage in the back end wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, I thought, and listen, you're down Christian Gonzalez, right? That doesn't help that you're down your best player, right? Probably the best player on the team. But for me at least, I looked at it and thought, okay, fine. But the coverage at times was just really bad. The decision making I thought was really bad at times. The third down touchdown pass to Tucker was just like, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? Send Marcus Jones off the edge. You drop Milton Williams and Christian Barmore into coverage, and you have Jalen Hawkins one-on-one with the fastest guy in the field. Stupid. Just stupid. Then it's 3rd and 20 at the end of the game after your coach has already given up and punted, which disgusted me. But
oh yeah, we got to talk about that still.
And you have no safety over the top. You blitz on 3rd and 20 when you're trying to get the ball back, and you give up a double move to, again, another ridiculously fast guy who can run really fast in a straight line, and he beats Carlton Davis, who I thought played pretty well today. But like, he's just sitting there saying, like, what are you doing on that? How are you not playing 4 deep, prevent defense, pick up 15 yards, go ahead, who cares? It doesn't matter. We don't need to sack you. We just need to stop you from getting a first down so we can get the ball back. And instead, you give up a long pass play, and it's just like, that's the one thing you couldn't give up, and you allowed it. And it's just like, that just is stupid to me.
I don't hate the blitz call there, just with the intention of we're going to get pressure fast enough that he can't get it to someone who can get 20 yards down the field. It's just, the blitz wasn't well executed enough. Gino was able to buy a little bit of time, which is what he needed. And I thought that was where it was like, okay. I thought that play was a perfect example of like the quality of players you get in free agency. Because you end up losing on that play because Spillane kind of hesitates for a second coming around because he has to spy Geno Smith and rush at the same time. And that allows Geno to have an extra second to set and throw down the field. And Carlton Davis, who had a good day today, that's just one bad play. And it's like, well, you're not going to win them all. And, you're not getting Christian Gonzalez in free agency. You are getting guys like a corner 2 in the league. If that's Christian Gonzalez out there, he's not getting fooled. And if he gets fooled, he's got the recovery ability to break that up anyway.
Right.
But it's not. It's Carlton Davis. It's your corner 2. So, I thought that was just tough. And, plays like that, I think, were the difference. Like, Drake Maye just wasn't making that play today. Geno Smith was. So, yeah, I think that was tough. Do we want to talk about that whole sequence? The false start, the decision not to go for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So listen, it was a bad play by Will Campbell. 100%. Can't happen. It's the biggest play of the game, 4th and 5. You're at midfield. You're down by 10 points. You absolutely 100% cannot have a false start on that play. Can't happen. Just can't. Right? With that being said, that decision by Vrabel is exactly what we killed Mayo for. We killed Bill for the last few years here. It's horrifying that you would punt the ball with under 5 minutes left to go in the game around midfield down 10. You have to score twice. Like it just
that possession
awful.
Needs to end in points. Yeah, I did not love that decision making, and I think we talked about how Vrabel has talked about how he wants the Patriots to be a team that takes advantage of other teams' mistakes.
Yep.
Well, this is the opposite. You're compounding mistakes. You get into a 4th and 5 in the first place. You false start to make it 4th and 10 to make it more difficult. You decided to punt instead, which I don't agree with, but I was looking at some like the 4th down decision bots, and some of them actually agreed with the decision to punt, which I found surprising. But agreeing with the decision to punt is with the assumption that when you're punting from there, you're pinning them with the 10 or the 5 or whatever. Behringer has one of the worst punts he's had in New England. It was like a 21-yard shank.
Yeah,
you're giving the ball to them in good field position, and you cannot compound errors like that. You just can't do it and expect to win football games consistently. And that's where you lose the game. It's that, and then you give up that big 3rd down completion, and it's just, the other team beats you. That's what that is. So, hated everything about that. Especially when Vrabel's whole thing all week was, in week 1 you gotta win the second half of games. That was the mantra all week. They came out in the second half and they didn't win it. And it's like, all right, well, what are we? It's a very obvious example of what they're preaching not turning into results on the field.
Correct.
Which is fine when it's just one game, but you don't love that when it's the first game. That's going to happen. Now, you don't have all the games go to plan, but until we see more, this is all we have to judge off of. And the one thing you told everyone in the press to judge you off of all week long, you didn't do. So you're going to get flack for that until you show you can do it.
Right. It's just, oh God, it's the exact type of thing that Vrabel talks about doing. And he punted. And you just like, I think evolved. It's just, it's so frustrating. I was so mad. I actually booed. My voice right now is basically gone. The only time I really yelled was booing that moment, because I just like, it's just so cowardly in that moment to punt. And I just, it's gross. Just gross. Yeah.
When you look at the second half, after Maye's interception on the opening drive of the half, which was tough. Like that's on Maye. That one was also on Michael Lenu for allowing a pressure. And Maye's trying to make that throw, and he's getting hit right in his lap as he throws it, and that causes it. Still got to deliver a better ball. We're going to be aware of the pressure, but Lenu is a big part of that. But it's just like, all right, 3 and out with -1 yard, 3 and out with 3 yards. You get something on the next drive, but you have to punt. And then it's that drive where it's 4th down. It's like, all right, so it just kind of feels like after that interception, you were kind of done for the day. Energy-wise, that's how it felt watching from home, too. It was just like, all right, that was it. And once you threw the pick, that was it for the game, and we're all set here.
Right.
Which was tough. If we want to go just bigger picture in this game, too, like the Patriots scored 13 points. 3 of these came on that last drive where the defense is kind of giving it to you to a degree. Right. You do miss a field goal in there. But then your other field goal comes on a drive where, man, that pass interference on Mac Hollins on the 4th and 1.
Real bad. It's a real bad call.
I don't know what that was. Great defense. So that was a gift, which I honestly liked everything about that except the actual execution of the play. I loved they went for it on the 4th down. I loved sucking the defense up and trying to go for the deep shot over the top. I think that's a great play call. You just got to execute it and just didn't get open, which is on him. And on Maye, too, for throwing that. But, like, yeah, so you got lucky there. And it's the way this game went, it's 1 turnover for each team with the picks. Outside of that, like, Patriots got beat. Just straight up beat.
Yep.
It could have been worse than what it was. Like, this easily could have been like a 20-7 game.
Oh, absolutely it could have been. And that's, unfortunately, that's where we're at right now, right?
Do we want to talk about Borregales real quick?
Yeah.
I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. It was bad. Go ahead.
I will say it was not. It could have been a lot worse.
Right.
His first ever NFL field goal he misses. That's the kind of thing that can just like give a kicker the yips permanently, and that's it. Credit to him in bad conditions for bouncing back and immediately nailing the 2 kicks after that. So, like, I was upset that he missed one, but the fact that he showed that toughness and bounced back and hit the others, I wasn't as mad. You're mad because this is a close game, and it changes the way the whole game plays out if he hits the one earlier. You would like to have that. But this is something we talked, like, when we did our schedule predictions, and I said the Patriots, I had 7 wins. One of my reasons was, they got a rookie kicker, and even if he plays well, he's probably going to have some tough games in there. And if you play a lot of close games and you have a rookie kicker, you're probably going to drop like 1 more game than you should because he's going to miss a kick because he's young and inexperienced and stuff. And maybe this is the one. Maybe he makes that kick earlier in that last drive. They drive down and tie it, and it's 20-20, go to overtime and win. Maybe that's an alternate universe here that we could be living in.
It's possible.
But this is the one we're in right now, and it sucks to lose the game because of that. But I still feel okay about Borregales for now.
Yeah.
Can't miss next week, though. Especially going to Miami. He's got to make the kicks in Miami.
I would agree. I would agree with you. Unfortunately, Tyler Loop looks pretty good tonight. But, what are you going to do? Also, I know it's not Borregales. I just think people in the chat are saying, that Mac Jones had a better year 2 than Drake Maye is having right now. Mac Jones in year 2, the first game of his year 2 was in Miami. 20-7 loss. His QBR in that game was 7.4.
Yep.
7. Let me say that again because I know it's under 10, so it's a little 7.4. That's out of 100. I don't know if people know that or not. QBR's out of 100. 7 point. I feel like that's not good. That's kind of bad. I think.
My 2 lasting memories from that game.
7.4.
I remember the Patriots driving down the field on the first drive, and then Maye throwing it to, I think it was Aguilar in the end zone down the sideline, and Xavier and Howard just being like all over him and picking it off.
Yeah.
And then I remember someone whiffing on a block and Maye getting strip sacked and the Dolphins recovering for a touchdown. I think that's also the game. there might be a third one in here where who's the safety from the Dolphins?
Minka?
Javon Holland.
Javon Holland.
Holland and somebody else like high load Mac in the pocket after he threw a ball and just absolutely demolished him. That was a rough game all around. That was
By the way,
immediate.
His lone touchdown pass in that game was to. Oh, this is a great piece of trivia. Who was his lone touchdown pass in that game too?
Well, it was that was the Kendrick Bourne doghouse game. So it's not Bourne.
He had one catch, 41 yards in that game. Kendrick Bourne did.
Yeah, because they put him in on the last drive, and he immediately made a big catch.
They were in Miami, by the way.
Yeah, no, I remember this game.
Yeah.
I don't remember who this touchdown's to. It's not to like Scotty Washington.
Oh, it's so good. No. It's not Scotty Wash. It was to Ty Montgomery.
Okay. There we go.
So
I was trying to think who was the Jermichael Hasty then.
Right. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Ty Montgomery.
Oh, I remember that too. Yeah, and Ty Montgomery was like off the roster a couple weeks later.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
So
anyways, the Borregales thing is worrying because I felt like Booty was better than not Booty. Romo was a little bit better than him in training camp and in preseason. But you had to go with the rookie. I mean, you would have been dumb not to go with the rookie.
Yeah, it was a tie, so it goes to the rookie. That's kind
correct. The thing is that what we're seeing with Chad Ryland is that sometimes it takes more than 1 year. And so you have to have some patience. You have to have a little bit of, all right, it doesn't have to be perfect. But if we can see the growth and we can see it happening, let's let it happen.
Yeah. You can't, Well, I kind of look at the Borregales thing like I look at the Will Campbell thing. Like, doesn't bother, like, we're going to say for these purposes, Will Campbell gave up a sack today. Because everywhere I've seen had him credited for one sack allowed. Will Campbell gave up a sack today. That's fine. It's a one-time thing. It can't be an every week thing. Doesn't bother me that Borregales missed that one field goal. Can't be an every week thing.
Correct.
Kickers don't make 100% of the kicks. So we saw the mental fortitude to bounce back from it. That's enough for me for now. And as a kicker, you still kind of take this week by week, but especially because this team's not that good, I'm giving him some leash.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, my dad just texted me, and he's right that the kickoffs were very good by him. The kickoffs were like to the goal line. Which was good. Now that didn't help with their kick coverage, but that was good. So,
yeah. Mike Debate just tweeted this a little nugget for this. Shout out Mike Debate, friend of the pod here. Kayshon Boutte is the first Patriots player to have a 100-yard game on opening day since. You want to guess?
The first Patriots receiver to have a 100-yard game in opening day since. Hold on. Oh no, it's way too far back. I'm gonna go with not Edelman. I don't think. Oh, it could be Edelman. I was gonna go Danny Amendola, but that's too far back. I don't know. Let's go like out there with. I'm going to go Brandon Cooks, 2017, sorry.
So it's the year after that. It's Gronk in 2018.
Gronk, 2018, okay. All right.
Against Houston. So that's
against Houston?
Yeah, 2018.
They started against Houston in 2017 and 2018?
They didn't start against them in 2017. That was like week 4. 2017, they started against the Chiefs. They lost.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the night when Kareem Hunt went off in the second half.
Right. So what was the
Brandon Cooks Texans game was like week 4, 2017.
Was it really? Okay.
Or like week. Right. I think it was week 3 because then I think they had like the Panthers game the next week where Carolina walked it off on a field goal.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that was one that Gronk got like tackled in the end zone by Luke Kuechly, right? No, that was a different game.
No, that's
Different
2013.
Panthers game. Never mind.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no, this is
they all blur together after a while. So, anyways,
yeah.
I don't know.
The one Texans game was week 3. The week 2 game was in New Orleans. Gronk also went nuts in that one.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. How about that?
Yeah.
2018 against Texans. It's good trivia like that.
Yeah. All
All right. Do you have anything else?
I mean, weird week around the league. So, like, I'm not. I think the Patriots were probably one of the worst 10 single team performances in week 1.
Probably.
But it's week 1, so like I'm not stressing yet. I think a lot of the issues that happened today are things that can be fixed with time and chemistry and game planning and stuff. Will they? I don't know. Can they? Yes, and getting healthy. So
yeah.
And that Miami game looks incredibly winnable. The Patriots are underdogs.
Yeah.
Miami's favored. But
which
the way they played today is just horrendous. If you get that Miami team, you should go down there and win. That should be a confidence booster.
I agree.
Yeah.
The Giants played terrible today. Carolina, I thought, did not play well at all today. It's kind of a weird thing because of the rain delay and everything else, but the Lions got schwacked by the Packers.
Yeah, the Titans' offensive line looked atrocious. I had that game on, Titans Broncos, and it was just like Cam Ward was just dropping. There was one play where he dropped back to pass, and immediately there were like 7 rushers in his face. It was like, what is happening?
It was rough, dude.
From what I saw, I thought Cam Ward looked half decent. He just kept getting let down by the receivers and the offensive line. So that's good.
I don't know. I'm curious about. I think they had like 14 total yards in the second half or something insane like that. Like, it was bad. But
yeah.
But we'll see.
A lot of bad offense today. So we'll see where we are in a month.
Sure was. What doesn't have a bad offense is the friggin' Baltimore Ravens. They look outrageous. Derrick Henry is an absolute monster. Lamar Jackson, they had 2 back-to-back plays in the last drive where it was like 3rd and 10. Lamar looked like he was going to get sacked, ran backwards like 20 yards, shook 2 guys while he was running in the opposite direction, and ended up picking up like 25 yards. And the very next play, Derrick Henry ran a touchdown for 40 yards. And it was just like, wow, is that even possible?
If this is what the Ravens are, they might win this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think that's it for us.
That's it. That's all we got. So we'll be back Thursday night previewing the Miami game. So
yeah,
we'll go from there.
Excited for that one.
Yep. So anyways, thanks to the chat, even though you were over acting like crazy. We appreciate you anyways. And be good to each other and go Pats.